And this is 4.3 part 3. Now this is the last thing we're going to do in this section for now. There actually is going to be a part 4 to actually finish up what we're going to do in 4.3. But this is if A is not equal to 1. So now there is something there on A that you have to take care of. And so the steps are multiply A times C. So in this case 3 times 5. You find the factors of those A times C that add up to that middle term B. We're going to split up B because if you think about it, if you have, say, 15 cars or 15 blocks and you're playing with a friend, you could have 5 and they could have 10. Or you could have 14 of them and they could have 1 of them. You could have, whatever combination that add up to it. And so that's what you're going to do in part 3. And then you'll end up creating 4 terms, and then we can use what we just used last lesson and factor by grouping. So let's take a look. A is not equal to 1. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to do 3 times 5 to get 15. I need to now find the factors of 15. 1 and 15, 3 and 5. And I need to choose which one of those will be able to get me to a negative 2. And that'd be 3 minus 5. So I can take 3p squared, and I am going to subtract 5p and add 3p. If you notice, what's negative 5p plus 3p? It will be the negative 2p that we originally had. So I'm not actually changing the problem. I'm just kind of rearranging the deck chairs, right? And so now I have 4 terms that I can use my grouping techniques. And I can say, hey, wait a minute, I could take a p out of this. And that is that second group, but I got to take a positive 1 then, because I want to keep it the same. And 3p minus 5 pushed together to the outsides. You've now just factored it. Now, I think I've missed something very important here, is the fact that we could check our work when we're factoring. You check your work when you're factoring is you multiply things back together. 3p times 3p is 3p squared. 3p times 1 is a positive 3p. Negative 5 times p is minus 5p, and negative 5 times 1 is minus 5. Well, guess what? What happens if you put 3p minus 5p? You get the negative 2p, which is the original problem. So therefore, it worked. Check. We did it right. This is the answer. I know I went kind of fast there. But remember, if a is not equal to 1, you multiply a times c. In this case, 2 times 9. Now you might be saying, hey, that's a negative 9. I got it. We're going to take care of that in a second. I get 18. The factors of 18 are 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Any others? I'm thinking 2 and 9, 3 and 6. I think that's it. Now, in this case, because 9 is negative, or technically 2 times negative 9 would be negative, one of these will be positive and one of them will have to be negative. That's basically the same thing we did above. I totally didn't ignore the fact that it was negative and didn't talk about it. One of these factors has to be positive, one has to be negative. That's all. And the ones that seems to work is the 3 and 6. 3, maybe 6 minus 3. So 2n squared plus 6n minus 3n minus 9. And then if I switch here to colors, parentheses around the first 2 and the second 2, I can take a 2n out of the first group to get me n plus 3. And, well, wait a minute. The second group, I need this to be a positive n. But it's a negative 3n. So guess what? I'm going to take the negative 3 out. And that leaves me with n. And don't forget that I'm going to divide this out. So a negative divided by negative will end up being a positive. 3. And so I get n plus 3 times 2n minus 3. And you're done. We did factor by grouping, and we factored quadratics when a was not equal to 1. There are 6 problems. I want you to do all 6 of those problems. Have a great day.